butterflies in her stomach have to be the size of a 747 right now. You're at Daytona for your first start. The Ford Mustang pace car brings them out of turn number 4. All the fans here, and look at the size of this crowd, bigger than last year, without a doubt. Pace car pulls off. Here comes the field. Kyle Busch down on the low side. Carl Edwards right up beside him. And the 2010 NASCAR Nationwide season is green. Everybody looks good coming through turns 1 and 2 down the backstretch for lap number 1.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Kyle Busch decided to jump up in that high line from starting down on the inside. Yeah, he got a good start, so he was able to kind of choose which lane he could go in, and he chose that outside lane down the backstretch. You got to think they're going to run the bottom of the racetrack if they get single file, but that upper lane looked pretty good there for the first lap.
Coming out of turn number 4, Kyle Busch, followed by Carl Edwards. Kevin Harvick is in third. Oh, we've got a crash coming down out of turn number 4. The 41 car of Chrissy Wallace, making her Nationwide Series debut, has hit the wall hard. 2 other cars had to go down pit road. There's another car spinning as a result, Brad Teague.
Yeah, he went sliding down through the infield grass. Chrissy Wallace looks like she has the most damage.
Window net down means that Chrissy is A-OK, but the car is definitely not. There's Brad. Brad, the second oldest driver in this field at age 62. He gets it back out. He's got damage to that left front you can see right there. It looks like it actually was a separate incident because that was much further down on the racetrack.
Well, Brad, just his momentum carried him down through the grass. He was trying to avoid this. Looked like some cars got together right there towards the back of that pack.
And there's Chrissy climbing out, and I'm sure she's not thrilled at all with the way this ended up.
It looks like Chrissy gets loose, real loose right there, and just overcorrects, gets into the outside wall. Yeah, she had a car right on her bumper. Looked like Paul Menard, who was right on her bumper. That'll really free you up. And in her defense, she hasn't had a lot of time this week. They had some problems getting the car through inspection, and then she didn't get a lot of time either day with the car, and especially in race trim. And the laps we saw her run, that car was out of control. Looks like it's not much better here. I mean, she just really got loose off turn 4. Those bumps are really, really upset the car when you're on the bottom.
Yeah, and we should point out it wasn't Chrissy out of control. The car just looked evil.
Yeah, the car just, every time we saw it, it looked like it wanted to go, that is out of mind of its own.
Well, looks like it had a mind of its own right there, as Chrissy Wallace is our first victim on the racetrack. We'll take a break and come back to Daytona. Now here's where under our first caution here in the Drive4COPD 300 at Daytona International Speedway, as we can tell you that Brad Teague has taken his car to the garage area. Morgan Shepherd, though, is back out. He's 2 laps down, but Morgan's crew got the car fixed, so he's back in. Checking back through the field, Kevin Harvick, we mentioned, third behind Edwards and Busch. Logano fourth, Earnhardt Jr. in fifth. And his team car, Danica Patrick, he has been mentoring her throughout the weekend, giving her as much advice as he possibly could. She has dropped back from her 15th starting position to 18th, and this was not surprising. The crew had said that Tony Eury was going to say, look, just take it easy. If you fall back, it's okay.
Yeah, and these starts and restarts are going to be probably the most exciting times that she's going to see, and the things that she hasn't had to really deal with. So getting used to that, and as she gets 1 or 2 under these belts, she'll understand a little bit more of it. Vince?
Well, the main objective for Danica Patrick is they want to keep her on the bottom of the racetrack. They feel like the trouble is going to be up top. And they said as long as she's comfortable running where she's at, they won't drop to the back. But if she starts feeling uncomfortable, you maybe see her slip back out of some of the heavier traffic. But the main objective, stay on the bottom of the racetrack. Just before they went green, by the way, Dale Jr. came on the radio to her and said, have fun and trust your instincts. So far, Danica said after 1 lap, albeit 1 lap, she said, hey, that was pretty good. Liked it. So we'll keep our eye on it for sure.
All right, thanks for the update, Vince. To check in with Tony Stewart, our in-race reporter. He's moved up from 32nd to 29th.
Hey, Smoke DJ, you have a copy?
Yeah, bud.
Hey, man, you were practicing your Cup car this morning. Now you're in this car. Haven't been in it since Thursday. Is that a big adjustment on your part?
Not really. I mean, you kind of remember, just from last year, the package for these cars really hasn't changed. So, just a little bit of riding around you do on the 3 pace laps kind of gets you back to what you're doing and, up to speed. It's like no.
All right, man. Be careful. Talk to you later.
And remember, the heavy rains yesterday washed off all the rubber that we had built up, and only the practice earlier today by Sprint Cup were for tomorrow's 500. That's the only rubber that is down on the track right now. We can give you an update. Chrissy Wallace has been released from the infield medical center, and that is good news. Dave, what's the update on the 22 on Brad Keselowski?
Yeah, Marty, I wanted to check with Paul Wolf, the crew chief, and find out if there was any issues with the transmission. Seemed like he got up through the gears that first time. Okay, Paul?
Yeah, he said everything felt fine. Wasn't sure under caution or what was wrong. Something in the linkage didn't feel just right, but said it shifted fine up through the gear. So I don't expect there to be a problem the rest of the day.
All right, that's good news from the 22 pit. Doc?
Chrissy Wallace has walked out of the care center. First of all, Chris, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. Car's not, so.
What happened?
98. He's just racing too hard, too early. It was a dumb mistake on his part, and unfortunately, we got taken out.
When will we see you again?
Hopefully in the next couple of weeks. We're hoping so, trying to work on some sponsor stuff. So if we get some sponsors, we'll be back soon.
Okay, a tough day and a short day for Chrissy Wallace. Guys?
And the 98, of course, she's referring to as Paul Menard. He started shotgun on this field in 43rd. He has moved up 7 spots, more than anybody else, and he is currently listed in 36. Kyle Busch again on point. He has again decided to take the low line. Carl Edwards right alongside. And we're back to green flag racing here at Daytona. Interesting. Last time on the start, Kyle went high. This time he stays low.
That's because he's got a partner there in Kevin Harvick, and he knows Harvick's car is pretty fast, so he wants to do that. Kyle kind of alluded to the fact that maybe they were down a little bit horsepower-wise with these Toyotas. It sure doesn't look like it on these starts.
I didn't see it right there. It looked to me like that's a good gauge of power on these restarts, and that 18 car looked like it had plenty. Look at Carl. Oh, man, he is all over Harvick.
And Harvick slides up right in front of him because...
look at this.
Oh, that was close.
Holy cow, look at Harvick.